Well, it's a beautiful day for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals in the world's most famous arena, the New York Knicks. They are back here for a second straight season, trying to take one step closer to their first NBA Finals appearance in over 25 years. But standing in their way, Donovan Mitchell, the Cleveland Cavaliers. We need not just 1 hour, we need 2 to get you set for this one.
Jalen Brunson, he got it! I like what I'm seeing. Still in the groove. Some Mitchell madness.
Roller coaster for sure. The journey shows you who you are.
Oh, man, we can't wait. We are live from our New York studios, and this might as well be the Iman Shumpert Bowl.
Yep. It's your series.
Between the Cleveland Cavaliers, the New York Knicks. Iman Shumpert, of course, knows those two teams well, but he's not the only one who's got a ring. Danny Green, he had to show off and have 3 of them things.
Another former Cav.
There you go. Chiney Ogwumike, a #1 pick, and you and I are kind of just slumming over here on this side of the table. Brian Windhorst, Malika Andrews. We're here with you for the next 2 hours, and right now we are 5 hours away from Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't know about you, though. Has anyone recovered from what we saw last night in the West? It was a tremendous game. It's not often that the game that it lives up to the hype. This one did that.
That photo.
Aura.
Was it Aura or what did you taught me? I didn't know what.
Aura farming.
Which one was it?
Aura farming is like you kind of go searching for it. But
This was just straight Aura. Let's take a listen to Wemby. He was watching this moment closely.
I still got a lot to learn. I want to get that trophy, many times in my career.
So is that why, Danny, he came out with such a vengeance? Well, remember, no De'Aaron Fox in this one. He's still working on that ankle injury here. But Victor Wembanyama, he had a double-double in the first half.
Yep, setting the tone. Is it crazy to call him a vet at 3 years in? He's like a 3-year vet right now.
He certainly has the maturity of one. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he did struggle a little bit early on in this game. Just 4 points, 1 of 5 from the field in the first half. So you had to think that eventually, some way, somehow, Shai was going to get going in this game. Let's go ahead here to the fourth quarter because, Shanae, we got a good one. The Spurs, they were taking care of business, but really, Oklahoma City, the key in their back was Alex Caruso.
It was Alex Caruso. Tough finish by SGA, though, laying it up. But this was the design. Caruso to have a big game. He had 8 threes on the night, the most he's ever made, because they wanted him to take all the shots, and he was making it, which made you feel like maybe they'd still be able to eke this one out.
And all of a sudden, is it
Shine
wiping
up
off
the ball,
shining up the ball? So Caruso on one end, back the other way. Hey, pop the champagne.
Juju.
They needed that one. Huge bucket there from Julian Champagny, and then Victor Wembanyama going to work here, Brian.
How about the spin move off the wrong foot?
bigger than you.
And then the other way. Final seconds here of regulation.
Go help.
Go help. Force someone else to beat you.
Do you think that Victor should have come over?
Absolutely.
Come over there, but it's
leaving
designed
the
for that.
three-point shooter there. Victor Wembanyama, emphatic, can't quite get it to go.
Okay, Chet.
So to overtime we go.
There are some plays I wish I were thinking more. Like I think it was the regulation last shot. I had an open look, on a way smaller defender, so I should have just taken it.
All right, hindsight is 20/20, but good for us.
Yeah.
We get some more basketball
Free
here.
basketball.
Well, Alex Caruso said, no, we do not want the cameras in this huddle at this point. To overtime, it's all tied up.
Come here. Body to body. That's nasty.
He was huge.
Don't look at him
for
like
the
that.
Spurs. And then Shai gives it back up to Alex Caruso.
31 on the night.
Put that headband on, boy.
You mentioned it, 8 made threes, the most in any game of
By
his
design.
NBA career. And then the 2-man game. Turnovers were a problem here for San Antonio down the stretch. It's a good thing that they got Jada back and healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. He was a game changer for them, especially when it comes to converting from one end to the other.
1-point game.
Okay,
SGA.
Get on that rim.
Now all of a sudden.
Oh, here we go.
Boy, the Spurs are in trouble, right?
Here we go.
That's what I thought.
Is that Steph or is that Victor Wembanyama? Here's how it sounded on San Antonio Spurs radio.
Castle to Wemby, rising deep 3. We win! Victor Wembanyama, 6 feet behind the line, ties the game at 108.
De'Aaron Fox is hyped about that one. And did this, Brian, look familiar at all to you?
It sure did, except for this time, Victor gets a 2 for 1. Steph couldn't even get a 2 for 1.
By the way, that was the longest shot of Victor Wembanyama's career, and it wasn't particularly close, so why not? Double overtime we go here. Victor, little pump fake.
And so that's the thing. Once he knocks down a three, you overreact, and then he gets downhill. Who can stop that? Nobody.
Well, not Oklahoma City, certainly last night.
Stop.
Victor Wembanyama.
Think about it.
Mouse in the house. Caruso guarding him.
Stop. Think about it.
Well, and this is when the San Antonio Spurs are really starting to feel it here. Once again.
What are you going to do about this?
Mouse in the house.
Just ducking in.
Castle, loving it. He was huge for San Antonio in this game. J-Dub, trying to make something happen.
Not
Wemby
J-Dub.
says no. Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs go on the road. They get the Game 1 win. Here's Victor after the game.
We as a team are ready to go in any environment, in any place, against anybody. And even though we still got a lot to learn, our effort should be over anybody else's. And tonight we were relentless. We want to win everything, and we have the chance to have people above us in the organization that know how to do that. So far, it looks like they've put the right people together to give us a chance, because right now we got a chance. We still got a lot to do, a lot to learn, a lot of trials to go through that we don't even know of. But we have a chance, and that's because they've built the team like this.
I think drafting him was helpful, too.
Yeah, it was helpful, too. This was an awesome game. Can I give you all some numbers, though, for Victor, right? He became the youngest player in NBA history with a 40-point, 20-rebound playoff game. He's the first in the conference finals since Barkley in '93. And the Spurs star, he dominated when it counted. He outscored the Thunder 9-7 in the second overtime. He poured in 16 points in clutch time. That's the most in the playoffs since Dame 5 years ago, right? And after floating a little bit early, he lived in the paint in Game 1. He attempted 17 layups and dunks, the most in any game in his career here. And Danny, Shump, you guys have both played, right, in Game 7. I don't know about you, watching on TV, that didn't feel like a Game 1 to me. What did it feel like to you?
It felt like a Game 7. Like, it was emotionally on both sides. I remember I was on the wrong end of it, but Game 6 against Miami, like, it was such an emotional game that it was hard to bounce back. And these two teams, we're going to see how they do the rest of the series. Mind you, they all played like 50 minutes. So we're going to see how they do in Game 2, emotionally, how they bounce back, and mentally to prepare for the rest of the series against each other.
Yeah, I felt like it felt like a Game 6. It felt like the Spurs had to win that game. Like, that's the way they carried it.
Did they have to win that
I don't know.
I think they did.
The way they carried it, it seemed a lot like that. Like, their guards, the way they attacked, the way they, it seemed like it was very cutthroat to send a statement. Maybe it's a do your work early statement that they sent.
Right.
But if I'm OKC, even though I know that the next game I could only imagine that Chet, you're going to –
I have no choice at this point.
I would hope so, Chet, that we're going to guard Wemby this. I would hope so. I hope we're not coming off the help. Coming off the help ain't helping.
They can throw. But, yes, Spurs, I think, need to win it because they're young. I don't know if a young group can bounce back from that type of loss. OKC has been there. They have championship DNA. They've been in the playoffs a couple times. So they might be able to bounce back. But right now, they're in trouble.
You think the adjustment is there, though?
I think there's an adjustment. And for me, it's not just Chet, but you got to play Hartenstein more, too.
What if they actually did a good job on him? I think they did a good job on him.
Well, and it's not a fluke, right? Because
you see all these spinning pins.
We saw that in
J-Dub, Caruso. That's when it counts, Win.
I kind of think it worked.
In their favor?
Which is...
Run it back. Play it again.
Brian.
Do it again. Do it again.
Let's hear it again.
In the regulation, he went 9 of 19, and he had 27 points. Now, he had 17 rebounds because the guys guarding him are so small relative to him.
He can get his own rebound.
He had all those offensive rebounds, but 9 of 19, they're going to sign up for that.
Oh, okay.
Now, in overtime, the idea is not get to overtime. But see, I loved Victor's game plan here, as you mentioned, going to the paint.
Yeah.
He only took 2 threes, and one of them was from 32 feet. I liked his game plan. I got to tell you, I didn't hate the Thunder's game plan, and that's why it's scary, because I think it kind of worked, and they still lost.
I mean, you could get De'Aaron Fox back, which would affect some things, particularly for the San Antonio Spurs and their potential. I think it's bigger than what we're talking about. It wasn't just a statement to the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think this was a statement to the entire NBA.
For sure.
That Victor Wembanyama is here to stay. He doesn't care.
It's the Wemby now.
It's the Wemby. Yes, it's officially the Wemby. This man is uber competitive.
Yeah.
And he wants to win at all costs. And to me, I just look at that moment where he was grabbing and clutching Stephon Castle's head, like transferring knowledge and experience at the end of the game.
Can we do that?
We do that in commercial breaks. This was one of the best playoff performances I have ever seen because of who was doing it. Victor Wembanyama, like you mentioned, he played inside and out. He had 6 dunks in the game, 2 times his normal average. Normally he averages 3 dunks, he had 6. He knew that this was the way for him to win. But it came down to, and we were all talking about it, the shot heard around the world. The 3-point shot. It takes cojones to be able in that moment to know you can step into it. Mind you, shooting only 2 threes in the game.
Take that
down
one.
3 to take that one. And you know what's crazy? I looked at his teammate. I can't even remember who it was. They passed it back to him like, oh, this is just what he does.
Castle.
Was it Castle? Yeah. It was in transition. He's like, oh, no, I'm going to give it to him because I know he wants to shoot this. And I know he wants to make it.
What's so remarkable about it? It was a strategy play, okay? Because they're down 3. There's 27, 28 seconds left. He's taken that shot to get a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
It's a strategy play. That's what about Wembanyama that's so impressive. He's not just physically gifted. The way he thinks the game is beautiful.
Yeah, he only made one error yesterday. The error was not shooting over in regulation. I'm glad he said it.
There
was no reason to put that down at all. When he takes a one dribble or just a no dribble shot on somebody, it's like at the end of the game, we have to know what you're doing. And I felt like that was an erratic decision. That was his only mistake.
But if you think about what he did, let's just say to get to overtime and in overtime, we saw him knock down a shot. Head down at the top of the key.
Honestly, though, he did what he was supposed to.
Right. But the diversity of his scoring and his dominance.
Until a grown-up guards him, I can't call it his best performance.
But you're saying there's no one on Oklahoma City that's grown up that was guarding him?
No. Why was Caruso
y'all know what I mean.
down
Listen,
the
first off, I'm not saying y'all not grown up. Everybody grown. You feel we all grown.
I mean a grown-up. If
Sean,
you're a footer, you have to look at a footer.
If you were on the Thunder,
and they did that, I would have went over to Chet. I'd have grabbed him by his chest, and his numbers would have been wrinkled up for the rest of the game. I'd have said, "You are guarding him."
I honestly think that the best way is to guard him with the wing.
I disagree.
We can do that. We can do that all game.
Disagree.
At the end of the game, you need to guard that man.
After he gets the one turnaround and an easy look,
Joe.
help has to
be
there.
The man grabbing the ball afterwards, tucking it under his arm, doing all that.
They would have had you on him.
That's fine. And I would have been cool with it all game. At the end of the game, I'd have looked for my biggest, whoever the biggest defender is. Bron, who else? Who else want to guard him?
Right.
Somebody that's 7 feet, because he about to shoot over me how Dirk used to shoot over me.
I think there's some reasons for the Oklahoma City Thunder to be looking around and saying, okay, we can feel okay after this because there's still some adjustments that they can make. But likewise, there's some mistakes that the San Antonio made that says, you know what, we might be able to really get one over these guys. Good thing we have 2 hours to get into all of this. But guys, we also have the Eastern Conference Finals starting today.
Closing this team out is one of the toughest things you can do. It takes a full team effort, so we've got to do it together.
McBride, corner three, nails it. Right wing McBride, sidestep, heat check 3 over George. Hits again! Deuce McBride cannot miss right now. Oozing off in a crowder for Jalen Brunson, crossing over Barlow, left wing, inside, reverses, got it, and then Brunson buries a far corner 3. Bang! It's a Knicks avalanche from downtown.
1, I'm not a star. 2, I want to win.
A sweep completed here in Philadelphia.
The New York Knicks, they will be facing Donovan Mitchell and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And it's hard not to be happy for Don. He's finally broken through. He's advanced to the conference finals. And it was a journey that took 9 years. It was 9 years in the making. And it's a path that had enough twists and turns to weave a very intricate web here. Because Donovan Mitchell, remember, he's never actually missed the playoffs. He started off on a really high note in 2018. He dropped 38 points in Game 6 against the Thunder. That's the 4th most in a series-clinching win by a rookie, trailing only Wilt, Kareem, and Magic. That's pretty dang good company. But then the disappointment came, of course, right? He blew a 3-1 lead in 2020 in the bubble to the Denver Nuggets, and then a 2-0 lead the following year to that shorthanded Clippers team. And you can see the frustration here on Donovan Mitchell's face. But now, all of that's changed. He's finally reached the stage, and he has the most career postseason points entering his first conference finals appearance in NBA history. Here's his latest diary installment with our Mark Spears.
It's been 9 long years.
And this topsy-turvy series belongs to Cleveland.
I'm in a situation where it's like you manifest it, you think about it, and then when it gets here, you have really a few hours to be happy about it, and then you got to move on, right? It's a milestone, right? It's something big for sure, but at the end of the day, it still doesn't mean anything without a ring. What's up, y'all? I'm Donovan Mitchell. This is My Diary on ESPN and Skate. Four wins away from an NBA Finals. It's not going to be easy for us coming up, right? I know the city's going to be on fire. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know Cleveland's going to be on fire. This is a fan base on both sides that are very, very rowdy. And it's going to be exciting. They're a really good team, and obviously I get to play at home, so I get to stay at my house, which is great. But at the end of the day, we're here to do a job and get the win.
Mitchell takes the runway and puts on a scoring clinic.
My earliest memory was wild. Probably watching Melo and Stoudemire play. Never been to a playoff game in the Garden as a fan. You grow up in New York, you understand how long it's been, right, for them just getting to the finals, let alone winning. And when you're the team, when you're the guy that's in the way of that, it's definitely, you know, something you want to go out there and take away.
Thank you, Donovan. Mark Spears, for that insight. Over here, this is Cavs Corner. Brian Windhorst has been manning Cavs Corner for us all season long. Your expectations for Donovan Mitchell, this is a huge stage for him.
Look, that was such an important moment in his career on Sunday night because he had to deliver not only as a scorer and a playmaker. And he said after the game, he goes, this is what he said to the team in the locker room. He goes, I don't know why it took us till we get our backs to the wall till we play this way. But we do, and when we do that, we can play against anybody. So the challenge now is do it starting tonight.
Right.
Because the Cavs got behind in the last series. They had to play from behind the whole time. The Knicks are too good. They will not blow a 2-0 lead like the Pistons did.
But what's the version of Donovan Mitchell that this Cleveland team needs him to be? Because New York is playing incredible basketball.
Yeah, I mean, you expect James to be a facilitator, but Don has to be that too. He has to be a true point guard and scorer, how he started out the game in Game 7.
Yeah.
He got Jared Allen going. He got Evan Mobley going. Sam Merrill. Like, those guys joined the party because I think prior to that game, he had maybe 3 or 4 total assists. He had that in the first 5 minutes of the first quarter.
8 assists, 0 turnovers.
So
in that game.
being that floor general, reading the defense, getting guys involved, also scoring, you're going to need that. And hopefully, again, the other guys pick up the slack, and then James can, do his thing with the less pressure on him. So you need him to be that floor general. Yeah, I liked him coming out early, coming out aggressive. Donovan Mitchell getting off to the races like that helps everybody. And I think him starting it off with the pass, it did take him a while to figure it out, but it's like, they weren't playing you for that. Everybody thought that you were hell-bent on scoring. Yeah, I wouldn't have game planned for Donovan Mitchell coming out here to distribute the basketball. It's just not in the cards for anybody. So for him to go out there and do that, to change the way you have to guard him, because in playoff series, a lot of times we can almost pinpoint it and say he's going to get the first 2 plays called for him. This is how we're going to tilt. This is how we're going to load up. Being able to take that away from him with 2 quick passes, 3 quick passes, and then open up the floodgates to score the ball in a number of ways, I think it really helps.
Between Don and James, that has to be an either-or situation. And I think oftentimes we talk about them scoring, like how many points does James have? Is he showing up? Or when is Don going to have another huge 30-plus point second half? It's about them facilitating. Because we know Don is going to likely, even if it's a bad game, get to 20 points. But the impact is when he was able to make sure and fill in those holes for James Harden and distribute. And this team, like, if they're going to have any chance, it's not just Don. It's truly their bigs.
For sure.
I think their bigs are the ones that dictate, because when their bigs play with force, they win. We've seen it time and time again this postseason. And so if he's able to just keep the boat afloat, but also make sure those guys are productive, it's very interesting because Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen, like, they need a guard to get them going. They can't do it themselves.
But you look in game ones, Donovan Mitchell averages over 32 points a game, right? That's the third highest in NBA history. So you know what he's going to be looking to do to set the tone early in the series, and that is to score. By my clock, we still have an hour and 25 minutes that we get to talk about this series. So let's get to it. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but we will be right back because the Knicks, of course, on their side of things, they've looked unstoppable lately. But Janae, she's got one stat for you. It's going to explain why the Brunson-Cat duo suddenly looks impossible. Are we ready to have an adult conversation about the Thunder and how they can guard Victor Wembanyama?
Well, some of them kids.
Hey, man, you got to get them babies out the street.
For you. And there was actually a single moment that changed the Knicks' playoff trajectory. You're not going to believe one theory that changed everything.
And we are here getting ready for the Eastern Conference Finals. You guys see that price tag? So expensive.
Yeah, the average price for tonight's game one at Madison Square Garden, $502, but the biggest show in town, it's a good price.
Literally the biggest show, because I want to focus on the big. Everyone here wants to give the guards the credit here. Our guy Russ in studio is come correct. Rocking Jalen Brunson. But again, it's the biggest show. You can leave because this is big only here. Karl Anthony Towns is truly the X factor. I want you guys to see these numbers because he's currently in the postseason averaging 6.6 assists, which is more than his past 3 seasons combined. He is having a renaissance. He is being revitalized. He is the hub of New York. If they're trying to get to the NBA Finals, it will literally come down to the ball being in his hands. And let me show you this area of improvement. There's a 2-man action here. He's palming the ball, and look at it. He throws a nice little over-the-top pass because the paint is wide open. He's not even trying to settle the score. He's on one-on-one single coverage. Instead, he's getting his teammates going. Most importantly, the teammate being the hero, right? Jalen Brunson. Here, just making a right read. Slow on the step out, slow to try to get out to Brunson's shot. You know what happens here? He's going to attack. He's so good. Big body Brunson creating contact. And last but not least, I just love how Cat, again, is not settling. He's on the perimeter, one-on-one. He could look to score. He could look to attack. He can shoot threes. Most people here would just attack the lane. Instead, he finds OG Anunoby. Him spreading the wealth has been so crucial for them because it allows guys like OG, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart and company to truly cook. And last but not least, look at what the Knicks are shooting.
Wow.
When he passes the ball, 73%. Mind you, he's shooting 62% in the last series. So offensively, this is where this team has truly been separated. Cat on the attack, Malik.
Yeah, Karl Anthony Towns has been a huge difference maker, Chene, in this series. As we say hello to Vince Goodwill, his Hennessy-tinted glasses.
Yeah, boy, shaded up.
Vince has been, if you can't tell by the drip, he's been covering the New York Knicks for us over the course of this postseason. And you just wrote a story about exactly what Chene's talking about. Cat as the hub of the offense. What's that unlocked for New York?
Everything.
Yeah.
I think when you take the pressure off of Jalen Brunson, and there's been this sort of uneasy balance between Karl Anthony Towns and Mike Brown this season because his numbers have not been as plentiful as they were under Tom Thibodeau. In that film session between games 3 and 4 against the Atlanta Hawks after the Knicks go down 2-1 and panic was widespread, Mike Brown basically challenged him in his own way and said, hey, what are you doing? If you want the ball, go get the ball. And now we've seen Karl Anthony Towns play like Draymond Green, play like Domantas Sabonis, players who have played under Mike Brown. He's just a more diverse offensive player than everybody that we've seen.
And now you're seeing this lethal Shump 2-man game between Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns.
This is what we always wanted. We knew that at the end of games, the Knicks do a great job of being in the game, whether that's within 6 plus or negative. But what we couldn't see with them turning the corner is how can y'all do that slugfest going into that timeout where the other team has to call the timeout because we know what's happening, but there's no real adjustment to make. We got to throw something out of left field at them because it's like we can't deal with this. Now you have it to where you can put Karl Anthony Towns into the little CAT scan. That's what I'm going to call it. That's the CAT scan. When he sit up top right there and there he get 2 cutters going off and he can wait on that late pass, he's just looking for the mistake to get made. And I think the more he's done that this season, especially with the playoff, you've watched Jalen Brunson not only be a great cutter, but a great screener. He's been able to set back screens. He's been able to get guys going, but that forces people to be in action, and that gives you a closeout with Jalen Brunson at the end of the game. I don't think a lot of people could deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that the fans wanted, obviously former Knicks wanted, but it's what they needed. It's what Cat needed because I think they were losing him at one point. And this might have been a situation where we might have been trading Cat. But this opened up the door not only for Cat, but other guys reaping the benefits, like Mikal Bridges. He's getting more looks. Everybody else is getting rhythm. Cat's feeling more involved in the offense, even though it's not for scoring. But this is what he needed. This is what the team needed, and it is playing unbelievable basketball since then.
We were asking if Mikal Bridges was going to get benched after a scoreless game 3.
He looked pretty unhappy.
He's woken up from that basically off of passes and offense from Karl Anthony Towns. He's been the best facilitator on this team.
Right, but now the question becomes for the Cavaliers, how do they slow down Karl Anthony Towns?
Well, the first thing they got to do is not turn the ball over because the Cavs' defense in the playoffs is just – it ranks 8th out of the playoffs.
Up and down.
Okay, they are of the teams that are still alive, the Cavs have the weakest defense. The Knicks have a very strong offense, as we saw. Obviously, the Knicks are going to want to attack that. The Cavs have to make them go into the half court. Cat is killing teams in the half court, but in the half court, the Cavs have some weapons. In transition, the Cavs are getting toasted. So the first thing you got to do is make the Knicks actually use that offense of going to Cat and let Jared Allen and Evan Mobley and Dean Wade, they're guys who have good size and can defend, give them a fighting chance against Cat. The second thing they have to do is control Jalen Brunson. You know what they're going to do in this game. They are going to get Jalen Brunson matched up against Donovan Mitchell and James Harden. They are going to try to create those matchups that will be in the game plan right at the top. They need to hold their own and stay out of foul trouble because Jalen Brunson draws fouls. So those are 2 really important things for the Cavs to stay in the series.
Don't forget also in the last 5 minutes of the game, it gets close. You know they're going to go Jalen Brunson, spread ISO. They can still go and use that. They just haven't had to because these games have been blowouts. They have not been tested. If there's a question about the Knicks, Shump, the Knicks have not been tested while the Cavs have played nothing but stress-filled games for the past 2.5 weeks.
And this is the first time, though, that you're going to watch at the end of the game, Jalen Brunson might just have a ton of energy because he hasn't been burning it all game using 20 to 25 dribbles on a possession. That's what makes it so
But they're going to make him work on defense, too. You got James Harden and Donovan.
Without a doubt.
They're going to both teams are going to be hunting each other.
Lace your shoes up tight. Lace them up.
Well, and then there's also the question, maybe a couple of tests early in that Hawks series that the Knicks faced here, but certainly the last 7 games, they have – Shump goes – walking around, though, New York City, I don't know about you guys, it has been orange and blue skies. So we asked our producers for some help here. They cooked up the best plays of the Knicks season. So why don't we just take a little trip down memory lane here, starting it off, Shump, with some top posters. This is against the Rockets.
Hey!
Karl Anthony Towns.
What you doing down there?
Poor Jabari. Throwing it down with one hand.
Ooh. Don't talk to me dirty.
And then against the Pacers, OG Anunoby.
Excuse OG.
And it looks like OG Brian's going to be back here for game 1.
Yeah, he's probable. I would expect him to get big minutes if he's going to go.
The 76ers, Mitch Robinson.
Watch your head.
Hey!
Way upstairs.
That's Joel Embiid. He slammed it on.
Hey!
Up in the attic.
Oh, Joel, you got to fix your face. Fix your face if you're going to be in the boat.
How about some Karl Anthony Towns dimes? May I offer you one against the Hawks here? Cat gets the offensive board.
You know he keeps changing his pocket.
No
Damn, baby. I'm just looking for the mistake. I see a problem. Let me fix that. Oh, baby.
And then Cat, trapped in the corner.
This was a tough one right here. You know how he got this.
You thought he was trapped. You thought he was trapped.
Swung it over to
I love how he walks off.
Underhand.
He do the walk off.
He totally does. And then against the Raptors, Cat comes in, grabs the board.
Oh, the rebound.
Attitude.
Now
walk off.
Oh, magic.
All right, let's jump to some Knicks' most memorable moments here. This is Game 4 against the 76ers. Brunson, he scored 5 points in 7
Oh, my God.
Anybody see Mortal Kombat yet?
Footwork.
The new movie is
Gotta
out.
send him to the screen.
5
I'm not
points
done. I'm not
in
done.
7 seconds.
Honestly, I would needed a timeout after that play.
Yeah, and then against the Pacers, Brunson gets to a spot. It's a game winner, by the way.
Clutch player of the year.
Another clutch shot by Jalen Brunson.
BLs over.
And then against the Celtics, this is Josh Hart. Josh Hart hit
dribble.
not 1, but 2 clutch threes
Two of those then.
to lead to the Knicks' victory here. So the Knicks have had some impressive moments. They're hoping to add to that collection tonight. Vince, thank you for the insight. Coming up, though, we had an alien who landed in Oklahoma City, stole Game 1 from the MVP. So our panel weighs in on what needs to change for SGA and the Thunder and how they defend Wemby.
Spins, shoots, and hits. 11.5 to go. Wemby's giving the Spurs a 2-point lead. SGA to the basket, lays it up and in. Tie game at 101. We go overtime. Gilkes out with 10. Gets inside. Brings it down. Wemby's going to pull a deep 3. Oh, again we go to double overtime. Wemby beat him inside, threw it down. And the San Antonio Spurs on an epic night from their superstar. The Spurs take Game 1.
So what do y'all think? Game of the year?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Game of the year. All right, well, Wemby and the Spurs, they certainly gave OKC all they could handle. But, Sinead, there's a trend here, right? Wide open Jalen Williams.
Yep.
This is a 3, right?
See with me?
Anybody but SGA is the trend.
Misses a 3. How about Aaron Wiggins?
Look at the double team, kick out, bye-bye,
Misses
good
the 3.
opportunity.
So OKC was 5 of 17 on uncontested threes in the first half here. So listen to Mark Daigneault on Wemby's defense and what he was able to do to this Thunder team.
And we're going to have to figure that out. You know, like they're good schematically. They obviously have a lot of tools with the point of attack defenders, and with Wembanyama, there's a reason they are where they are.
So Daigneault trying to think of ways to kind of counter Wemby here, Sinead.
I mean, it's going to be an infinite amount of ways because it's not easy to counter that guy.
So in the fourth quarter, OKC struggled to deal with Wemby defensively, right? Wemby fakes on the jumper, gives it up to Dylan Harper.
Chet, that can't happen.
That
Both
one
that
was
can't happen.
unacceptable with Chet. That was
Wemby
unacceptable.
attacking the mismatch.
This is the Embiid, the Jokic, get him at the top of the key where the double team can't come, and that's where he finishes.
Really no answer here for Wemby. All right, but Wemby outscored OKC by himself in the second overtime period as well. Wemby had 9 points. The Thunder had 7, right? But then attacking inside. 22 seconds left. J-Dub drives. Just gets swatted out of the way by Wemby. So,
Not Jake.
all hail the victor. Game 1 goes to San Antonio. But let's take a closer look here because the Thunder, they've struggled against the Spurs all season, right? They dropped to 1-5 after their Game 1 loss. That's despite going 71-14 the rest of the way against the rest of the league. So let's say howdy to our friend, in some parts he's called Bam McMahon. On here we just call him Tim McMahon. You're at OKC, you're covering the Spurs and Thunder for us. Tim, you had a front row seat to that incredible defense we saw on SGA by the Spurs. So what is SGA's mindset? He shot 7 of 23 from the field in Game 1. How does he respond?
Howdy, Malika. Look, SGA held up that MVP trophy during the pregame ceremony. He holds himself to that standards. He put it real plain and simple. I've got to be better, especially against a team of this caliber. And it's a lot easier said than done. Victor Wembanyama deserves a ton of credit for SGA's struggles, in addition to the point of attack defenders, but especially with Wemby. You know, SGA says attacking him, you have to be smart, you have to be patient, but you also have to be aggressive. You can't be timid. You can't go in there scared. That's when, as he said, the Spurs are really able to put a stranglehold on the game. So they're trying to figure out pathways to create cracks for him, how to attack him. But again, you have to be aggressive. You have to. He has to play his game and not allow Wemby to dictate.
Right, but this isn't the first time, right, that Oklahoma City has lost a Game 1, even at home, right? I'm thinking the Nuggets, right? They stole the first game of the conference semifinals, and then the Pacers in Game 1 of the finals last year. What can they draw maybe even from those experiences to try to even up this series?
Yeah, they're not comfortable in this situation, but they are confident. It is familiar territory. And this team takes a ton of pride in, as Mark Daigneault said, its ability to problem solve throughout the course of a playoff series. Now, obviously, look, the Spurs and Wemby present different levels of problems. But again, they believe they get better throughout the course of a series. They believe, you get stuff on film, they can figure things out. And a big part of that is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's proven himself in this department. You mentioned Game 1 loss to the Nuggets, Game 1 loss to the Pacers. In both of those Game 2s after that, he had 34 points, 8 assists, was extremely efficient, and led OKC to win. So they've been there, they've done that. Now they've got to do it against a 62-win Spurs team with a talent unlike anything that we've seen before.
Not comfortable, but confident in this situation. I like that. Tim McMahon, thank you very much. We're going to be seeing you soon because this series is going to continue. I have a feeling to be a good one. It's kind of wild to call a Game 2 a must-win, but when you look at the numbers, if a team loses their first 2 games at home, they've only gone on a 5-33 all-time series record after that. This is, of course, best of 7 series. So, Danny, when you're looking at one thing that needs to change here for Oklahoma City, where are you starting?
I'm starting with Wemby. Like, you got to find a way to keep him away from the basket. Like, he's getting offensive rebounds, putbacks, dunks. He outscored them because he had dunks and layups. And he only shot 2 threes. It's easier said than done. Not everybody can do it. Some people can coach it. But, I know people are against putting big men on him, but you got to put a bigger body on him at times.
Would you put Chet on him? That's what
I would put Chet on him some, but, again, you don't want to put somebody – you want to put somebody that wants to be on him. I don't know if Chet wants to guard him. I think Chet rather be weak side and block shots.
So you say Chet's scared?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he'd rather be weak side. I wouldn't mind putting the small on him, putting Hartenstein on him some, and then Chet in doses. Like, mix it up. You can't give any superstar a steady diet of anything.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of the guards did a great job on him on the most part, but it's a second chance rebounds, and that's because he's so close to the rim. You got to have a weak side guy rebounding and helping, not Wemby get the second putback on his original shot.
Yeah. I know I'm a mere person, panelist here, just talking about grown men that are amazing, but there's no way at this level that I would not be like, if I'm Chet, I'm like, give me Wemby. Give me him.
Yeah.
Wemby wants him. In return, give me Wemby. Yeah. And the help side can come. Caruso's so good with putting his hands on the ball and coming when Wemby turns. Like, let the little guys help you instead of you help the little guys. Because when the little guy is guarding Victor Wembanyama, he's like, I'm going to, respectfully, I'm going to go and camp out on the paint. And then that's forcing Wemby's best version of basketball playing inside and out. Yeah. So he was parked in the paint, and that's the last place you want him.
I think the strategy is to have Chet as the secondary defender. Again,
he worked.
Victor comes in to this series. He was shooting 54% in the playoffs coming into this game. He goes 9 of 19 in regulation. I understand in overtime that's where it got bad, but we just saw they're 5 of 17 on open threes. They go 8 of 17. This is a different story. Victor is 9 of 19. They can live with 9 of 19. They can survive 9 of 19. They can survive 27.
I think 9 of 19 is still pretty good, though.
But they're not surviving the matchup problems that happen. So when you have a little guard on Wemby, now y'all have to tilt. Your defense has changed. Now you have wide open passes, available ass passes that should not be available. Like there has been plenty of like that right there where Chet just let Dylan Harper, which I don't know why you let him lay that ball up. You punt that to the stands. But he laid the ball up because Wemby has everybody frozen in the air, and he can see over everything. So it's like if you put Chet, even when he's trying to throw these available passes, Chet can get a deflection. You can get in the passing lane.
This is the number 1 defense in the league.
Yeah.
Okay? This is the number 1 defense in the league. They are deployed all over the place. Okay, Chet definitely has got to play better. There's no doubt at both ends. Chet and Victor are designed to go against each other. That is
for a long time.
Yes,
they've done this.
But it is not going to be Russell and Wilt. That's just not going to be the way it is. That's not going to be the way it is. You want to argue that it needs to happen more? I'll give you that. If you want to argue that in overtime,
I mean certain possessions.
But you also mentioned that this is the number 1 defense in the NBA, but in the sample size that we saw in the regular season, San Antonio has had their way based off of using Victor the way he's been playing.
Well, and also the sample size in the regular season, it says that, so Chet Holmgren has had 6 games. He's had 6 games where he's scored less than 10 points.
There you go.
3 of those games have been against the San Antonio Spurs. So Chet Holmgren, I'm wondering if this is a fluke game for him against San Antonio or if this is who he is against San Antonio.
Well, if they're going to camp down on Shea like they are. They're going to devote 2.5 defenders to him. Chet's got to be better offensively.
Right, but you're not going to get another game with
be better
Alex Caruso scoring the way that he was. Maybe.
Yeah. To be fair, San Antonio didn't shoot the ball from 3 that greatly either to start the game.
And they had
key
finish. Turnovers.
11 for Castle.
So they shot
Honestly,
30 from 3.
Wemby's playing so well, we're forgetting about their guards. Their guards kick their ass.
I'm so glad that we have the potential to have 6